Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
Hello everyone and welcome to F1 2016 Career Mode. We're here for part number 28 here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you can see, we've got a few upgrades on the car, 2 fuel efficiency upgrades, so nothing too major. We had the resource points to spend and we might as well do the fuel efficiency upgrades because they don't give too much performance to the car. It just means that we can run a little bit lighter. As I said, nothing too major at all, and it hasn't really added that much performance to the car, which is kind of what we don't want to be adding too much performance to the car, of course, because in just a couple of races time we'll get our first offers of this career mode, and we will be most likely leaving Red Bull. It's no secret that Helmut Marko wants to bring Max Verstappen back to this team, given that Red Bull have been unhappy with our driving performance so far. But here we are in FP1, where, as you can see, we're doing the tyre wear test, and we clipped the wall on the exit of that corner, and round she went, and we got a puncture on the rear right of the car. Not ideal in the slightest. Curtailed our running, but we didn't bother completing it because it's going to be wet in the race, dry qualifying and wet race. So tyre wear test kind of completely went out the window because the only wet running we're going to get is actually in the race itself. So there's no point in doing the tyre wear test. Here are our qualifying goals.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
So, as you can see, they're literally the same as I think it has been since we got given our new rival. Finish second, beat Ricciardo, beat Raikkonen. How much more bog standard could you get? But we'll see what we can do. Azerbaijan's going to be a tough track, so I'm going to send you over to Crofty now for qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
The circuit has rubbed in with practice, but this is still going to be a difficult session for our drivers as they fight for pole position. Welcome to qualifying here in Azerbaijan.
So here we are in qualifying 2. As you can see, we've already actually set a lap in this session, but we're having to go again. As I said, because it's going to be a wet start to the race, we can do a few laps on these tyres. The reason we're going again is because 1, we're 11th, and 2, because we got held up by Pascal Wehrlein, who was on an outlap, and he literally sabotaged our entire lap, and that's why we were so far down on Daniel Ricciardo, the teammate and the current leader of qualifying 2. But as you can see, we're coming to the end of the lap, and just to put into perspective, this is a used set of tyres. That's how we're 1.6 seconds up on our previous lap, just proving how much we were held up by Pascal Wehrlein. But as you can see, that delta's going down because through this section, of course, we had the slipstream from Wehrlein, so we gained a little bit in the third sector, but overall we are going to gain about a second. That's how much we lost being stuck in traffic behind him, and that puts us P4, half a second off our teammate, and of course that was on a scrub set of tyres, so we haven't shown our hand yet. The pace this weekend looking very good indeed in qualifying, and we're looking like a real threat. Maybe for pole position, but we're definitely looking a real threat this weekend. 2 cars made it through on the soft tyres for some bizarre reason, in case the rain doesn't arrive. Both Manners doing very well in 11th and 12th places, so just a bit of a shout out to them. Here we are then in qualifying 3. We did a lap on that scrub set of tyres from Q1, which had done about 2 or 3 laps in fact, so it's not a surprise that that lap from us was well off the pace and stone dead last. But here we are right at the end of the session, going for one all or nothing lap, less than 3 laps of fuel, and we are going for it. As you can see, we're a second up already on the delta time at the moment as we're coming into the last few sectors into turn 16 now. We've got purple in the middle sector, and now we've given ourselves a real shot. We're in fact a 10th up on Daniel Ricciardo's provisional pole time at the moment as we come through the last couple of corners through turn 19 now. Don't hit the wall on the left hand side, which is so easy to do, and we're now nearly 2 seconds up on our delta, 1.8 seconds up, as we've actually forgot to open the DRS a little bit. That's going to cost us a little bit of time as we run down to the line. Where's that going to put us on the grid? It's pole position for the second time in 3 races. and we have taken pole. We last took pole in Monaco, and we are the king of the street circuits, and we absolutely smashed it. 0.4 of a second to our teammate who has dominated qualifying this season. Well, when we have beaten him, we've beaten him in style, and that's going to serve us quite well in the rivalry, the driver position, resource points, the job lot, because we've beaten all our main rivals. Look at Nico Rosberg down in 10th place. Not good qualifying for him or his teammate. Raikkonen, our rival, poor qualifying from him. Valtteri Bottas, though, one of the stars of qualifying, half a second off us, only a 10th off Daniel Ricciardo, who is probably the benchmark of who's the quickest driver. I know we took pole, but Ricciardo is arguably the quickest driver on the grid this season. Did we lead the championship? I think we... No, I don't know. I can't remember. But Ricciardo is our number one rival in the championship, and he's the benchmark. And for Bottas in a Williams that is quite underpowered in the performance index, it's good going. Of course, Williams did get a podium here last year with Massa. Long straights, of course, definitely aiding how that Williams is set up and how it runs and everything. So fair play to Williams Racing. They've done a very respectable job there. Here are the resource points then from qualifying. That's going to give us a hefty amount of 86. I say hefty amount, not too many, but it's a start. And look at this in the rivalry. Oh yes, it's a clean sweep. I can't remember the last time we took a clean sweep, to be honest. We have dominated Raikkonen in the rivalry, and we are getting ever closer to beating Raikkonen and winning a rivalry for the first time since, was it Singapore or Malaysia last season? We haven't won one for a long time. It looks like we might win this one at last. And it is good to see. As you can see, we've just blown Raikkonen away, showing our pace, quickest in every single sector. We've been very good this weekend. Driver position is going to be helped out massively from that. We're almost back in the purple. As here are our race goals for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
So race goals, second is literally the same as our qualifying goals, to be perfectly honest. Second place, beat Raikkonen, beat Daniel Ricciardo, and be third place or higher in the drivers' standings. We will do that. I expect we'd need one heck of a bad race for us not to be third in the standings. I think we're comfortable to Raikkonen actually in third, so we're going to do that anyway. So we've got a plus point already. So that's good to know going into this race. That we've already got 1 plus point, which is going to be finishing third or higher in the drivers' standings, which is, we don't want to finish third. Almost in the quotes of Max Verstappen, and he's not there to finish fourth. We're not here to finish third. We want to win this championship, and that's what we intend to do at the moment. But I'm now going to send you down to the grid for the race. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and I can tell you the weather is not on our side. I'll see you on the grid.
Hello everyone, Jason Wilcox here, SDG Biscuit, welcoming you to the Formula 1 Grand Prix of Europe in the city of Baku, Azerbaijan. Bounded by the Caspian Sea and the Caucasus Mountains, Baku is most famous for its medieval walled inner city. Within those walls today, some of the best drivers in the world will snake their way through some of the tightest corners and fly down the longest straight on the F1 calendar. The centuries-old stone Maiden Tower, which dominates the city skyline, will prove to be a stunning backdrop for today's race. Callum Byrne in the Red Bull is the driver at the top of the standings. Leading by 9 points coming into this week's race, he looks to increase his lead over the rest of the field with a strong finish. He'll start from pole for the second time this season, and that will certainly provide him a great opportunity to jump out to an early lead and race away for a podium finish. Force India and Williams are battling it out for fourth in the constructors, and both look to have strong point stays. Pascal Wehrlein has scored back-to-back points in Monaco and Canada. Toro Rosso and Renault have still yet to score a single point in 2017. An engine failure stopped Vettel from winning last year, and I'm sure he'll be out for revenge today after a poor start to his season. So, after qualifying, let's see how the grid sorted out.
Okay, remember to protect the inside of the road out to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible. Robust, but fair.
On pole, Callum Byrne in the Red Bull, with his teammate Ricciardo filling out the first row. Row 2, the Williams of Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel in the lead Ferrari. Row 3, Kimi Raikkonen in the other Ferrari and Sergio Perez's Force India. In row 4, we have Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes and Felipe Massa for Williams. In row 5, the Force India of Nico Hülkenberg and Nico Rosberg for Mercedes. Row 6 starts the two manners of Rio Haryanto and Pascal Wehrlein. In row 7, Romain Grosjean in the Haas and Toro Rosso with Danny Kvyat. Row 8, Carlos Sainz and Esteban Gutierrez in the other Haas. In row 9, Jenson Button's McLaren and Jolyon Palmer's Renault. Fernando Alonso and Kevin Magnussen will be in row 10. Marcus Ericsson, Felipe Nasr, and the Saubers finish the grid. So it's shaping up to be a race for the ages, with all the drivers looking to conquer the streets of Baku. With that said, this has been Jason, SDG Biscuit. Let's go to the race.
So here we are on the grid, and it is absolutely lashing it down for the start of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is going to dry up and go to intermediates, and then it might dry up before the end. So we might get some slick tyre running. We're going to take quite a bit. We're going to take a fair whack of fuel out of the car, but it's tough. Usually in the wet you underfuel the car quite a lot, but this track is actually really heavy on the fuel. So it's finding that judging point, because we don't want to have to end up fuel saving really. And we won't be running rich that often anyway. We might have to run it on the straights because the slipstream at this track is so powerful on the current longest straight in Formula 1. But here we are, coming to the end of the formation lap. Ricciardo overtook us ever so slightly towards the end, but we are back in front as we crawl to our grid spot. Not sure whether being first is as good as being second here with the inside line, but we'll see how it goes. 5 red lights here in Baku, and away we go, and it's been a decent launch, but then we got bogged down after the car jumped off the grid, but we've managed to hold on. Valtteri Bottas is having a look around the outside into turn 1. We hang on to the lead. Ricciardo's had a shocking start. He's down to 3rd place. We lose the car and hit the wall on the right hand side there. Don't pick up any damage or a puncture, but that was just literally just aquaplaning at the moment. As you can see, the circuit is absolutely flooded. There is standing water everywhere. As we now come down towards turn 3 here, Bottas isn't too close enough. We've braked where the line tells us to, and look at that, we almost go straight on into the wall. The car wouldn't slow down at all, so we're going to have to be very cautious at the start of this Baku Azerbaijan Grand Prix here, as Bottas is now on the back of us. But that was a scary moment going into turn 3. Not really locked up, but the car wouldn't slow down. That was as scary as Monaco when we had problems with the car there. But as you can see, we are hanging on now from hanging on to our lead, and we'll see what we can do. But Vettel, in fact, has got past Daniel Ricciardo in the top left-hand corner there, so our teammate and World Championship rival having a shocking start to this race as we almost aquaplane and understeer into the wall at the castle section. As there's a green flag there, that means there's a yellow flag behind us, and in the track map there's a bit of carnage, and I think our teammates involved in it down by the castle, and the safety car has been deployed here in Baku. What has caused this safety car? I'm sure we'll get a replay in just a moment, but we do have a safety car here at the Baku City Circuit. The first time we've ever had a safety car at this track. Here's a replay of the start. As you can see, Bottas with a phenomenal start, and there was a fast starting Mercedes in the background as well. There's a Force India that was challenging Sebastian Vettel. That is Nico Hulkenberg, I think. As you can see, the lead we had going into turn 2, and Vettel trying to go up the inside of Ricciardo. Here is the onboard from Valtteri Bottas, and look at the start Bottas got. Literally the perfect launch, the perfect second phase. And because sadly he wasn't able to get past us because we had that inside line, and there was contact with Daniel Ricciardo there. You saw that they put a lot of counter steer in. There was a hit from behind. Here's the front wing cam of Nico Hulkenberg, and it was Hulkenberg that was challenging Sebastian Vettel around the outside. And just watch how this goes. At the moment he's like, right, got you, Sebastian. Right, let's go ahead, but it turns out Vettel got him back. And here is the cause of the safety car. Ricciardo and Vettel side by side into the castle, and carnage has ensued. There is no other way to put it. But here's the onboard with Vettel going up the inside into the castle. Ricciardo on the outside. Vettel hits the wall. There was slight contact, I think, with Ricciardo, but it was always going straight on into the wall, and we'll get a good view here from the back. From the front of the Force India of Sergio Perez. Now you'll watch Vettel hit the wall, and his rear tyre will hit the back or the side pod of Ricciardo, but Ricciardo was already going into the wall. He's now coming in for a pit stop to replace that front wing, and a new set of wet tyres go on, but because it's a safety car, he can join back onto the queue. So the safety car is a blessing in disguise for our teammate here, as we're now under safety car conditions. Perez, very lucky. Very, very lucky. Team radio.
It's the worst condition I ever drove a car.
As you can see, we are complaining about the conditions because the conditions at the moment they're terrible. And we're under safety car at the moment, and we're just hoping the safety car stays out for as long as possible because it just plays into our hands. Just plays into our hands. But Perez, as I said, very lucky, and there were quite a few cars further down the grid to lose front wings. Our teammate is currently last in all of that. So he came off the worst, and the safety car at the end of lap 4 is now coming back into the pits. As you can see, the circuit is still absolutely flooded. We said it's too wet to get going, moaning about the conditions, but Charlie Whiting feels that it's safe to go racing, so that's what we're about to go doing. As you can see, we're waiting for the safety car to get into the pit lane because you can't bolt until the safety car goes into the pit lane, so we're just backing the pack up, chilling at the moment, and the safety car's just going into the pit lane now, so we're about to floor it now, and now we've bolted and we've caught Valtteri Bottas. No, we haven't really caught him napping. We've caught the AI napping a lot worse than what we have done here, but we've got the jump anyway, enough that Bottas isn't going to be troubling us down in towards turn 1. Of course, DRS it won't be enabled. It's full wet conditions, and the chances of seeing the DRS in this race are pretty slim, and that plays into our hands as well because we are the lead car and we wouldn't be getting DRS anyway. As now on lap 5, it's actually the restart lap. We've actually overcooked it into the castle, and we've lost the front wing end fence on our front wing. Now on lap 7, we've understeered through turn 12 and we've hit the wall, and that's put Bottas on the back of us through turns 13 and 14. Valtteri, please don't try it. Please don't try it. We're losing the car all over the shop. We get very close to whacking the wall on the left-hand side, losing our front left wheel. And even coming through turn 15, we get very close to that exit wall. We're struggling here. We really are struggling here on in this Baku Grand Prix. The conditions are horrific, absolutely horrific. But it is due to dry up, and maybe, just maybe, that'll play into our hands. And it's so annoying because we're so good in the wet normally. But look at it there. Look at it, we're understeering around through turns 18 and 19, and we're about to come through the King at 20, and Bottas is scared to overtake us in case we smash him off into the wall. And he's gone clean past us at the moment. Vettel's getting involved. Hamilton's getting involved as well. He's right behind. We even got a touch from Hamilton behind. Perez is on the left-hand side. Look at that from Perez as Rosberg sets a new fastest lap of the race. We're on the outside here of Sebastian Vettel, but we're going to get a better exit. Perez and Bottas are squabbling. We've flicked it to the inside. Vettel gave us enough room to squeeze by, and we're going up the inside, just about get it turned in, and we retake the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But look at the mini-map and look behind. Look at the amount of cars that are right behind us. We are struggling here in Baku. Very much, and here's a replay of us nearly going 5 wide, is it? We definitely go 4 wide. Look at that, and we could have gone 5 wide, but there probably would have been an accident. And anyway, and look at us just hanging around the outside. We're very patient here. We sit in behind, go around the outside of Vettel, and he drops away a little bit from the Force India and the Williams, and it just allows us to go get past Vettel and flick to the inside to get back through. Now at the end of lap 8, I believe we're coming into the pit lane to get onto a set of inters. No, we're not. We're having to defend. We're defending because we're going 3 wide behind us. That is a scary thing to look behind to and see AI cars going 3 wide, full wet conditions. Terrifying, and Vettel is up into 2nd place, but the circuit is starting to dry up, and Jeff is telling me that we'll be on inters sooner rather than later, as now Vettel is weaving in our mirrors trying to find an inch of space. Perez is there as well. We've lost Esteban Gutierrez in this race. We're going to replay of what's happened to him in a minute. They're going 3 wide again down the main straight into turn 1, and we live to fight another day as Esteban Gutierrez has had an engine failure. Not good. For that Ferrari engine has let go on the streets of Baku. And Gutierrez has brought out the virtual safety car, which is good for us. It just gives us a little bit of respite. It allows the conditions to improve a little bit more. So the more stoppages we have, the sooner the sooner we're going to get to dry running in this track. So the more stoppages, the more safety cars, the better, as the virtual safety car is now coming to an end here on lap 10. And we're back underway, and we pulled a nice gap. Jolyon Palmer now, what's happened to him down to turn 15? He's had a puncture on his front right tyre. and we've actually caught up to him. He had a puncture we were in like turn 3. We've now got to turn 19, and Palmer has just stopped. He's parked the car in a shocking place. No safety car here, and somehow the train of AI cars behind us didn't crash into him. Have no idea how that happened, but Palmer, for whatever reason, just stopped on circuit, and he's in fact been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location, and that has put Perez and Vettel on us because we hit the wall on the exit at turn 19, and it meant that they were chasing us down as we went towards turn 1. Now we're on lap 12, and you can see how clearly we are defending here. We are making our move to the inside line as they're going 3 wide yet again behind us. Is that Nico Hülkenberg? Look at Hülkenberg coming. He's going to get a slice of the action in the battle for the lead here on lap 13. Into turn 1 we go, and we hang on yet again to the lead. And now it's Hamilton that's giving fight to Vettel, and the chasing pack behind us. As into turn 3 we go, and we hold on to the lead. As lap 15, we've brushed the wall on the exit of turn 19 again as we come through the kink at 20. Perez all over the back of us again, and it's Hamilton now. Vettel has dropped down a little bit. Don't really know what happened to him as Perez and Hamilton make a bit of contact, and Hamilton's weaving, got a bit of damage to his nose, but here comes Hülkenberg as well. He's eyeing up a move for the podium. 2 Force Indios gunning at it here. Fair play to them, as now at the end of lap 16, I believe we are coming in now for a set of intermediate tyres. Perez now going to take the lead of the race because he's getting past us regardless of us coming into the pit lane. Perez takes the lead. It's a Force India 1-3. Yellow flags out. Not quite sure why. Hamilton's out. Hamilton is out of the race. We'll get a replay of what's happened to him. He's only just passed us with Perez and the other Force India of Hülkenberg. So what has happened to Lewis Hamilton? Has there been an accident down into turn 1? But either way, we come in for a set of intermediate tyres. There is Hamilton parked off down the escape road. So what has happened to him? We've rejoined just behind our teammate who is yet to make out his pit stop with a first car onto intermediates. Here's what's happened to Hamilton. It's an engine failure down the main straight, and Mercedes' chance of winning this race with Lewis Hamilton have gone, as now at the end of lap 17, Ricciardo and the rest of the field are all coming into the pits apart from Nico Hülkenberg. He didn't want to stack behind his teammate, so he's going to have to do an extra lap. We've got the crossover just right. We've still got the net lead of the race now at the end of lap 18, the same lap in fact. We've hit the wall through turn 19, becoming a bit of a pattern that is, and here comes Sergio Perez to retake the lead of the race. He's gone to the inside. We didn't see that one coming. He looked like he's going to the outside, jink to the inside, and we're squeezing him against this pit wall now as we go down in towards turn 1. We were giving Perez the frighteners. We don't like it when AI cars dive bomb us or get up our inside, and we tried to put the frighteners on Perez as yet again. Lap 19, the following lap, we hit the wall on the exit of turn 19. Couldn't stop doing it. Didn't really know what it was, just too much understeer in this car. I tried changing the front brake bias and things like that. It just wasn't happening, as now Hamilton, he's out. Rosberg has joined the party with me and Perez for the lead of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're just a few laps to go. We're on lap 23 now. As you can see, Rosberg and Perez are right behind us here, and we've gone wide on the exit of turn 1. That's going to put Perez right on the back of us, and he's hit us. Perez hits us, and we almost go into the wall. We're hanging around the outside of turn 2, and we get much better traction because we had a slightly wider line. Perez had a much tighter line on the inside there, and we retake the lead. But Perez, we made a mistake, and Perez just runs clean into the back of us. We're going to get a replay of it here. You'll see the nose cone, the tip of the nose, hits our diffuser there, and whoa, that could have been nasty. And we live to fight another day, as does Sergio Perez, because that could have put us both in the wall. As here's the view from Nico Rosberg. So you can see there was contact there, and we just cleverly hanging around the outside. And even Rosberg gets a bit of a run at Sergio Perez. Has now ended the same lap. We've hit the wall, turn 19 yet again. Just cannot stop doing it, and we just lose so much momentum, so much time going down the straight. As now Rosberg is slipstreaming Perez, and Rosberg might take the lead here, as we've got the ominous music coming, because we are starting to get to the crunch time of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Just about 3 or so laps to go. Look at the train of cars. Ricciardo has joined that train of cars as well. Ricciardo, who was stone dead last at the end of the 4th lap, at the end of the 1st lap. is right in the hunt for the win here, as now we made a mistake. We hit the wall in the exit turn 3 and Rosberg takes the lead of the Grand Prix. We're going to sit in the slipstream. Perez is having a look in the mirrors as well, but we take the inside line, dive bomb Rosberg. Hard to dive bomb in these conditions, but we're just a little bit later on the brakes. Not too late that we go into the wall at turn 3, but now we're on the final lap here. Where has the time gone? We've actually hit the wall again at some point, and we've lost even more of our front wing on both sides of it. But Perez is right behind us now, 5/10 behind us. Rosberg a further 3 behind. But it's stopped raining. It has stopped raining, so we thought we might get to dry conditions. Another couple of laps, and we would have been on slicks. But here we are. The last run to the grid. We've saved the fuel. We've got rich fuel mixture here. We've got a lap's worth of fuel in through here. The car is sliding because, of course, the track's drying out and the intermediates are getting less suited to these conditions. We had a bad run through turns 18, 19 and 20. Here comes Perez in the slipstream. He flicks to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Sergio Perez, he's going to win. He's got us on the line. And Perez wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We finished second. We've led the whole race and we've lost it on the run to the line. We finished second here in Baku by half a car's width. That is gutting. The hardest race, the hardest conditions to battle through, and we've led and survived it all, and we've lost it in the last 100 metres.
Well done, you deserve it, mate. Well done, take the pick up.
Oh, well done, guys. Wow, that was very hard, man.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. A strong race then for our championship leader. That's extended their advantage at the top of the standings. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Fernando Alonso.
I'm lost for words. I'm speechless. We've lost the Azerbaijan Grand Prix to Sergio Perez for the first time in this career mode. For the first time in the history of Formula One, we hear the Mexican and Indian national anthems together because Force India have won their first ever Grand Prix. And the Indian national anthem is played out for the first time. We lost by 4/100ths of a second to Perez. It's painful, so painful. But you look at the fastest lap times around, we weren't quick. We did not have the pace today. Look at Ricciardo, who did a 155.6. Our best was a 57.4. We weren't quick enough today. We didn't deserve to win. We were lucky that we finished second, to be brutally honest, and that's just because it's a tough track to overtake at. Rosberg was third. Hulkenberg, Force India, phenomenal weekend. Then it was Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Bottas, Vettel and co near the back of the points. Vettel, I believe, had contact. He lost a bit of his front wing with Lewis Hamilton, I think it was, and he made an extra pit stop, and that's why he was so far down the grid, and why he only picked up a couple of points. But all in all, it was still a positive weekend for us, despite the fact we lost the win, and it's hard to take positives. But qualifying was much improved, and we've in fact extended our lead over everyone bar Perez in the Drivers' Championship. We've extended our lead to 19 points. It's annoying because we've dropped 7 points to Ricciardo here. We could have been leading by 26 points and have a whole race in hand, have a DNF in hand over Ricciardo. But we'll just have to go out and win in Austria and get that banked up. Because, of course, when we leave Red Bull, it's going to be tough because they are by far and away the quickest car. We need every point we can get. Constructors' standings, Red Bull are running away with it. If anything, Ferrari are more in a battle for second place with Mercedes at the moment. Just 40 points separate them compared to the 101 that separate us and Ferrari. Force India up to 4th, Williams down to 5th, and there's quite a margin between those two now. 35 points between them, and for those guys don't get big results that often. And that's going to take Williams quite a lot of time to hunt down, especially given that they started 3rd in this race. Healthy chunk of resource points anyway, and here's our first driver bonus to add to that, just a few more, 818 resource points now. Rivalry update, we've beaten Raikkonen in the race, but as I said, we had no pace in terms of fastest laps by quite some way, so we're not going to win the rivalry here. We will probably do that in Austria. I can't see how we're not going to win this rivalry now. We will have to be rubbish to lose the rivalry from here. Driver position though, because we achieved our goal, we finished 2nd or higher, we beat Ricciardo, and we had our driver position in the championship. We're in the purple for the first time in it's a long time, probably since Malaysia. It's the first time we've been in the purple since Malaysia. It's a good shout, that. Here then we've got a team update.
Hey, it's me. I just came from a meeting with the department heads. Your performance came up and they're very pleased so far. Well done. Don't let that level drop, okay?
So the team are happy with us. So despite the fact they wanted to sack us in China, they told us we weren't doing good enough. We've improved quite a lot since then. We're leading the Drivers' Championship by quite a way. And as you can see, we've got a nice new trophy in our cabinet. It's our 7th podium in a row. We are in great form at the moment. We go to Austria. We won there last year. Silverstone, we were unlucky not to win, but we had a podium there last year. 2 strong races for us. Home race for Red Bull, home race for me. And we might have a new chapter post Silverstone. So I'll see you next week for the Austrian Grand Prix.